Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. You know, sometimes when a child is born and it's differently abled. That's how we say it here. They're differently abled. They may be slower to do certain things as opposed to other kids, or they may never understand it, or they may be dyslexic. There are certain things that can make a child learn slower than other children. And when you see these people sitting here, I'm seeing cowardice, okay? Because Barbadians, all of you, are like that particular child who is differently abled, but they cannot say it, okay? All Barbadians, everyone born in Barbados from Barbadian parentage, the lineage, they are differently able. You are a new set of human beings. You were created by the white man. And just like children who may be on a different spectrum, they still have their wants that down there. They'll be still having puberty, and they'll be still going through all the emotions, and they'll be still wanting to explore. And not only wanting to explore, they are even more highly in that way than a normal other person. It's something that comes along with being differently abled. Okay, you would think that someone who is like that wouldn't think about that kind of stuff, but they do, and more so than other children. Okay, check it out. Okay, so when they're talking about parenting crisis, it's not really a parenting crisis per se. It's slavery. It's the DNA that you have that is still with you. It's the fact that you still have that colonial vibe going. You are making sure that you do not excel. You may have some that can read books and some that can write an exam because they can remember and they can regurgitate on paper, but all of you are still like that child who is differently abled. And because you are like that, you're going to be having children. You're going to be having children, and you're going to be having children under any set of circumstances, whether there's green pasture for the kids to eat on, whether there's a fridge full of food, whether there is, money in the bank. Don't care. Does not matter, because everyone who is living in Barbados, you are impacted by slavery. But they can't tell you that. They cannot tell you that, okay? They sit there and pretend that they don't know what it stems from. The poor parenting skills and the parenting crisis and things that are happening within your communities are all linked, tied, all part and parcel of you coming from slavery, and you have not dealt with it. You have not dealt with it, because a child can be differently abled, but they can be taught, they can be trained. If a child is dyslexic, you can do something for them to see the numbers and letters in the way it is supposed to be seen. And who's to say it's supposed to be seen that way? But just because the majority see certain things certain ways, you may want to bring that the few in to mesh and to vibe and to assimilate like the others. Okay, so there are programs, even if you cannot hear well, there are things for your ears. If you cannot see well, there are things for your eyes. There are things that can help children along. But because you don't want to deal with history, because you are not dealing with history and your DNA, you're not going to get any further. You're not going to go very far. You're always going to be talking about parenting crisis. It's not now. It's not now. But then you ask a question and you got beaten Back then, if you played with matches, your hands got burned in fire. Back then, it was a rock, a twitch, whatever they got their hands on, they beat you. The teachers beat you, everybody beat you. It's not only now that there's a parenting crisis, it's just that things are not getting better. You say things can change, and I'm beginning to agree with you. Okay, I'm going to agree with you. Yeah, they're changing. It's not getting better. It's changing for the worse. Okay, you are seeing something that is inevitable when you don't deal with your history, when you do not deal with facts and information, when you do not deal with the intelligence of this game. This is a game that you have to play, and you have to play well. And when you are not dealing with understanding the intelligence of this game and all the apps that you have installed, and maybe you need to teach your children to put up some firewalls, because the body doesn't come with firewalls, and anything and everything just like it oozes in, and you need to set up some firewalls so that you can say, okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Oh, I saw my mom do that, but it didn't work out very well for her, so I'm not going to try that. You have to do things like that. You have to start treating your kids as though it's an app. It's a computer. You have to start treating your kids as though they're adults, and tell them things they need to know. You came from slavery. You came from slavery. You still got the colonial vibe going on. Okay, me see how many are wearing a tie. He's wearing a tie, colonial vibe. He's wearing a tie, a colonial vibe, the colonial vibe. You know, you still got that colonial vibe going on, okay? And things are not going to get any better, but these people just want to have a job. They want that check to come to them. They don't want it to be stopped. They don't want anyone to say, oh, he got slaves. No, so they have to pretend. They have to sit there and pretend that they care. They don't care. None. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They do not care. They do not care about you. There's some back here too. They do not care about you. They do not care. They will never care. All they want is that paycheck. Okay, because if they cared, they would tell you the truth. If people care about you, they tell you the truth. Truth is a part of respect. When you respect someone, you tell them the truth. The truth is, things are not going to get better in Barbados because you have not addressed slavery. You don't teach it. You don't talk about it. You don't want to deal with it. You still got the colonial vibe going, wearing ties, wearing suits. You see people going to court. If not for the skin color, you will swear it was a white man from the old time days. You know, those white people. There was a time they had those white wigs on. It is a problem. You have a problem in Barbados. You're not dealing with your history of slavery. You're not dealing with your history of slavery. You're not dealing with the fact that you are new humans. You are a different type of human than what was plucked out of Africa. You are different. You were created. You are a new species. Okay, you are a new species of human. Okay, you're not dealing with that. You don't want to deal with that. Okay, so we have a parenting crisis. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It cannot get better, because no matter what you do or what you say, people are still going to be abusive again. You're still going to be doing it. You're still going to be making babies, whether you can afford them or not, whether they're poor, whether you know that there's a malady in your DNA that your child can get. You don't care. You don't think that way. Your brains are not set up that way. Your brains are set up just like the white man set them up. Breed. Reproduce, replenish the stock. Replenish the stock. And you still are doing that. You still are right there. You're still 300 years old. You're still in that. Although this may be 2025, you're still back there because your DNA demands you to upgrade it, and you have not. Your DNA begs you to put in some new apps, put up some different things, learn some different ways, understand what truth is, understand what the truth is, and stop being insulted by the truth. How are you insulted by truth? These people can never tell you the truth. First, they'll have to take off their ties to tell you the truth, okay? First, they used to put around your necks during slavery and, pull you up in a tree. That's still the colonial vibe. They cannot teach you. They cannot show you the way. They cannot pull you out of what's happening. They're in it. They're part and parcel of what's happening in Barbados. They cannot help you. They're all about the money. That's all it's all about. They're all about the money. They will never tell you the truth. You have to figure it out for yourself. You are you're new humans. You're a new set of humans. The Americans knew it. Other people know it. People in talk to South Koreans. They know it. They are taught that in school, how they look at black people. They know it. People in the world know that everyone coming out from the new world, they know what we went through. They know the DNA, and they know that it will take years and years and years and decades for you to unravel within a bigger community and dealing with different people and understanding things like different ways. It starts to unravel, and you can see. You can more see and accept things. But being in Barbados, never leaving Barbados, or leaving and can't wait to get back to Barbados, it's over. It's over. It's over. You are a new set of humans. You were created by the white man. You still have that white man colonial vibe going in Barbados, like, for instance, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and then the President Kennedy driving that kind of shit. You still got that colonial vibe going. It is going to take a very strong person to look you in the face, stand there on the podium and say, we have to deal with our history. We have to deal with our history. We have to look at it and be truthful to ourselves and figure out what tools, what new set of tools do we need to employ to pull ourselves out of this mire we're in. You are having babies and you cannot afford them. You are having babies that you cannot afford. That is a thing only a slave would do. Only a slave will have a baby without any forethought. They're not thinking. You don't just don't think. You just figure, oh, it's gonna be all right. I'll help my mom. My mom will help me. My granddad will help me. Right? Only a slave, only someone that came from slavery will think like that. You have to deal with your history. You have to deal with your history. No one that is wearing a tie. No one. You see, as slight as that is, and who's to say that they understand the significance of what they're doing? No one that is wearing a tie. You saw Zelensky the other day. He went to the White House and he wasn't even wearing a tie. People know, they know. But yeah, until they understand the significance of something as simple as this, they can't teach you nothing. They can't teach you shit. Okay? It's not going to get better. And I'm agreeing with you now. You know, when you say that people can change, I'm going to agree. Yeah, they change for the worse. It's getting worse. It's not going to get better. It's not going to get better until you understand that you are DNA. It has memory. You are traumatized. Even in the United States, when they're doing certain tests and they want Black people to sign up so that, you know, they can get results. Fuck that. Black people don't go for that shit. Black people don't, well, the ones here in America, we don't trust that shit. It's because of memory. It's because of DNA. It's like a repellent when they say, well, could you come here and do this and do that? No. Get another specimen. Go and do it with someone else. Black people do not. Historically, Black people do not go in any setting to be experimented on. If you do it, you have to do it without them knowing. If you do anything like that, it has to be covert. You cannot let them know that they're part of a study where they're trying to get results, they're trying to get data. It doesn't work with us. It does not compute. It does not work. And why? Because our memory and our knowledge of history, we can't trust that colonial stuff. Can't trust that they're going to put the right thing in. That they put one thing in the other person, they put the other thing in the other person. Can't trust. Cannot trust. And that's part of our DNA. That's part of our history. It's part of our history. And that's something that you don't deal with. That's something that you are not dealing with in Barbados. Okay? And you're going to continue having children. The children are going to continue having children. They're not saying, well, I'm bringing my child up to do what? To go and get a job? To go and get a job? That's what you're having a child for? That's okay. Is that why you're having a child? Just to go and have a job when it reaches a certain age? So what? They can give you some money? And you call that common sense? You call that common sense? They're going to work for someone, and you call that common sense. And we have not improved. Black people have not really improved. And you call having a whole bunch of kids in an island like Barbados smart? You think you're smart? You're not smart. And these people can't help you. Get back to that again. They cannot help you. They cannot help you when they talk about a parenting crisis and programs and trying to blah, blah, and blah. They cannot help. Cannot help. It's in the DNA. You have to look at the truth of your history. You have to look at the truth of your history, and you have to know that any set of circumstances that puts a human being in a particular situation for centuries, you can't be the same. You cannot be the same. It changes you. It will change you after a fucking week, and you were in it for centuries. It can't be the same. You come out a different human. You're different. A different species completely. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with that. You have to not be offended by the fucking truth. Share it, Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.